Hello, I'm Dwayne Brown. Tonight on KPBS Evening Edition, still no progress on avoiding the fiscal cliff, and the White House may be ready to go right over it. Tax breaks for the wealthy are still the sticking point. We'll have the latest from Washington.
And I'm Peggy Pico. Also ahead, a state regulator says the solution to the stench at La Jolla Cove may be quicker and easier than previously thought. Plus, despite the recent gruesome headlines of drug war victims south of the border, Baja tourism officials say visitors are coming back.
Also tonight, a battle over freedom or freedom from religion is being waged in a surprising place. And we'll give you a look at San Diego like you've never seen it before. KPBS Evening Edition starts now.
KPBS Evening Edition is made possible by Joan and Irwin Jacobs and by
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The Defense Department is planning for massive cuts if there's no deal to avoid the fiscal cliff. Going over it could mean an $11 billion impact for San Diego. The Treasury Secretary says the White House is ready to go over the cliff rather than accept a deal without higher taxes for the wealthy. We have the latest on the budget debate from Mark Smith of the Associated Press.
As President Obama and GOP leaders reel ever closer to the perilous fiscal cliff, one longtime GOP deficit hawk is dancing. Ex-Wyoming Senator Alan Simpson's aiming to grab eyeballs Gangnam style, using the Korean dance craze to enlist young voters in demanding Washington not kick the debt can down the road.
Boy, these old coots will clean out the Treasury before you get there.
With talks on averting the year-end cliff of big tax hikes and spending cuts seemingly deadlocked, Republicans say the next 72 hours are critical.
We put an offer on the table. The president now has to engage.
And if the president doesn't agree with our proposal and our outline, I think he's got an obligation to send one to the Congress.
But Obama, having already rejected the GOP's deeper spending cuts, told the business group the next move is theirs. He says Republicans must accept higher tax rates on the rich.
We can probably solve this in about a week. It's not that tough. But we need that conceptual breakthrough.
Yet he also had a warning. Don't pick another fight over the debt ceiling in hopes of greater leverage.
So I want to send a very clear message to people here. We are not going to play that game next year.
The nation's credit rating took a beating when a debt ceiling fight 2 summers ago nearly led to default. Meantime, a Pew Research Center poll suggests if government does plunge over the fiscal cliff, Americans would blame Republicans by a 2-to-1 margin, reinforcing the view of Team Obama that time is not on the GOP's side. Mark Smith, The Associated Press, the White House.
County law enforcement are celebrating the first year of a program to put former prisoners in stable full-time jobs. The program arrived in San Diego at the same time the state began releasing nonviolent offenders from prison. KPBS business and environment reporter Eric Anderson joins us from the newsroom. Eric, what does the program do?
Well, Dwayne, quite simply, the program seeks out people who've just been released from custody. It trains them, helps them find a job, and teaches them how to keep that job. The program sees itself as part of the solution as the state realigns its correction system. Mac Jenkins is the chief of the San Diego County Probation Department, and he welcomes the help.
We've got about 2,500 offenders that we're responsible for now with realignment. So that's a large population, and we know from our history with our probation population that about 60% of the high-risk probationers that we're responsible for supervising are unemployed and have troubled employment history. So we need more resources like CEO. We need CEO to actually grow into expand their capacity.
And that's a job the Center for Employment Opportunities is willing to take on. In fact, they hope to double the number of people they help in the coming year. And CEO Mindy Turlock says if they can gather enough resources, they'd like to do even more.
And the program helped 55 folks get jobs. How else do they measure success, Eric?
Well, the best measurement for them is how many people end up back in jail. Turlock told me that people who enrolled in CEO have significantly lower rates of arrest, convictions, and that return to jail. The program has already been running for a while in New York State, Oakland, and a couple of other metropolitan areas. Turlock says the incarceration rate among those enrolled for 3 years is 26% lower than the rest of the released prison population, and they argue the program saves roughly $3.85 in taxpayer dollars for every dollar invested in the program.
KPBS business and environment reporter Eric Anderson. A new economic forecast says passage of Proposition 30 gives California some breathing room, but doesn't provide long-term solutions for the state's budget problems. Last month, voters approved Prop 30 to raise the state sales tax and increase income taxes for wealthy residents. Economists at UCLA say higher taxes affect the housing market by driving folks out of state. Still, they expect California to outpace the nation in economic growth in 2014. San Diego State University set a new record for college applications. Nearly 75,000 prospective students applied for the fall semester. That's nearly 5,500 more than last year. Applications are up throughout the California State University system. A massive sand replenishment project is wrapping up at 8 county beaches. The $23 million project is an effort to slow erosion from Oceanside to Imperial Beach. Researchers at Scripps Institution of Oceanography say construction blocks sand from flowing naturally to the beaches. They say the new sand will help for now, but big waves and winter storms will eventually wash it all away. You may recall our stories about the big stink created by bird and seal droppings at La Jolla Cove. People agree it's bad, but they don't agree on what to do about it. Peggy Pico has the latest on the debate.
State regulators say they have not seen any plans from San Diego City officials on how to mitigate the La Jolla stench. But as my guest, Dave Gibson, Executive Director of the San Diego Regional Water Quality Control Board, tells us there are some possible ways to fix the problem, including a few solutions that may not require a permit. Dave, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Give us a little background on what's causing this stench.
Well, it really seems as though when the city fenced off the bluffs there at La Jolla Cove, that marine mammals like seals and sea lions and cormorants and other birds have moved in and are using the space as they should in a marine area. But in doing so, they're leaving behind wastes, and that really does smell.
It especially smells when there hasn't been a whole lot of rain because it piles up.
And the seals and sea lions are well up on the bluffs and out of the splash zone, so it's not being washed off by the waves, but rains will probably help somewhat.
All right, nearby restaurants and shops have been complaining about this for some time, but have city officials reached out to you? Have they contacted you about any solutions?
Not yet. We've seen a lot in the press, and we understand that a letter's been sent to the governor. We're always willing to work with people at the beginning stages of an issue like this, and so if they are contemplating needing a permit to spray something on the rocks, our doors are open to them to meet with them to discuss what we would have to do to develop the findings of fact we would need to base a permit on.
Okay, well, San Diego City Councilwoman Sherry Leitner, as you mentioned, she did send a letter to Governor Brown last month that began with this. She says, La Jolla finds itself in a morass of state regulations and it stinks, literally. What kind of state regulations is she talking about?
Well, it's state and federal, and it's the Clean Water Act itself, which requires us to restore and maintain the chemical, physical, and biological integrity of the nation's waters, and that includes La Jolla Cove. If they were going to be spraying something on the rocks, they would have to have a permit from us to do that. The other state regulations concern the protections of the area of special biological significance off La Jolla Cove, in which the State Water Resources Control Board, our parent organization, has prohibited discharges except in very certain special circumstances, and that's where we would need to work with the community.
So what kind of things could you do that maybe wouldn't require a permit?
If you were able to collect the material and take it onshore, not offshore, if you were to scoop it up or sweep it up and carry it away in trash cans, you would not need a permit for that.
Because it's not going in the water?
It's not going in the water. You would not need a permit from us, although the city of San Diego might have concerns about people on the bluffs. And you would also want to be concerned about getting too close to the seals and sea lions. Not only are they a protected species, but sea lions, especially the males, are very large and potentially dangerous, especially if you're on a high cliff.
Right, they might come after you, sort of
They
protect
might
their defend their territory. Now, Assemblywoman Toni Atkins also could not make it onto the show tonight, but she did send a statement as well, which read in part, "We will have to find a balance between protecting this environmentally sensitive area along with the wildlife that is so prized by both residents and tourists." And she goes on to say that she'll want to support the business and residents who are adversely affected or impacted by this odor problem. What sort of things, what sort of options have I assume other coastal areas, we were talking about Pier 39, what sort of things have they done to clear up this stench?
In most cases, they haven't done much of anything at all. There's not a whole lot you can do without disturbing the animals. It is possible in some places to do selective cleanups when the seals and sea lions aren't there, like we described. If you're able to go out and sweep up or clean up, you might be able to remove some of the bird guano or the droppings from the seals and sea lions. Also, in some cases, the sea lions decide they move on somewhere else. They're very fickle about where they haul out. An area will be popular for a while, then it won't be popular. At the Water Board, we are very concerned about balancing all of the needs of the community, the needs for that recreational enjoyment of the seals and sea lions, as well as being able to clean up the mess they leave behind and our stormwater runoff besides. And we have to weigh all of these factors.
Is there any preventative measures that can be taken to sort of, let's say we get a nice rainstorm and we get lucky and everything gets cleaned off. What can we do to prevent this from happening in the future, if anything?
I think what we have to do is really look at our expectations. When you are perched on the edge of the Pacific Ocean, as they are there is good and there is not so good. As my mother would say, you have to sometimes accept the sour with the sweet. We don't think that this is a minor issue for the community at all. We wouldn't want to minimize it. But I think that the options we might have to look at how we can control those sources might be to improve some of the better drainage on the bluffs. But again, we'd have to balance that against erosion issues. Those are highly erodible bluffs, and they're already retreating gradually towards the roads and those same businesses.
And one more reason, I know a lot of people have suggested, why don't we just take ocean water and dump it back into the ocean, but erosion is an issue.
Erosion would be an issue. That is something we would certainly want to explore as an alternative to using cleansers or something like that. And there, again, based on findings of fact and sound science, we might be able to propose a permit to allow that type of activity.
All right, Dave Gibson, Executive Director of San Diego Regional Water Quality Control Board. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Changes may be ahead for Fresh and Easy stores. The chain hasn't done as well as hoped since it opened in 2007. Its British parent company says it's been approached by potential buyers and partners. There are 200 Fresh and Easy stores in California, Arizona, and Nevada. California's Agriculture Secretary came to San Diego to recognize food bank donations by local farmers. So far this year, farmers and ranchers have donated more than 125 million pounds of food to food banks. The group Feeding America San Diego is the region's largest distributor. They provide food to people who don't normally qualify for low-income programs. An estimated 1 out of 4 children in San Diego County suffer from hunger.
It's especially acute that we think about this during the holiday season. We know that we have 4 million Californians that need food assistance throughout the year. And what's really striking are the number of children who are food insecure. And that's something that just shouldn't be in the state that's the #1 agricultural state in the union.
2 years ago, the state established a partnership with farmers and ranchers called Ag Vision. The goal is to distribute 200 million pounds of state-produced food to needy families by 2015. A recent Pew study says about 19% of Americans say they're atheists or have no religious affiliation, while the majority of them fall in younger age groups. KPBS reporter Claire Trageser tells us about a group of retirement center residents who are bucking the trend.
It's just before 4 p.m. at La Costa Glen Retirement Community in Carlsbad, and a group of residents are gathering in one of the meeting rooms. But these seniors aren't here to play bingo. It quickly becomes clear that this is not your usual retirement center activity.
You know that gay marriage and marijuana, gay marriage and marijuana have been okayed in a couple of the states now. Leviticus 20th chapter, 13th verse says, when 2 men lay together, they should be stoned. And we've just all misinterpreted it before.
That's Bridget Clark-Smith, a La Costa Glen resident who started a group called Atheists Anonymous 2 years ago. Bridget was raised as a Christian, but says she quickly decided it wasn't for her.
I was 8 years of age, and I used to play the piano for the Sunday school. And I would play, Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him belong. He is weak and I am strong. And then this poet, who was the superintendent of the Sunday school, would come over and, that isn't the way you sing it. And then she would tell me how to sing it. So when I'd get to that part again, I would just go, because I said, I'm not weak, I'm strong. And I don't even know who he is.
Bridget started Atheists Anonymous after a fellow La Costa resident asked if she was a Christian.
And I thought, that's a strange thing to say. And I said, no, just like that. And then she said, well, what are you? And I said, I'm an atheist. And she was angry and she walked right out.
A woman overheard Bridget and shared some advice.
She said, oh, we're atheists, but we want to remain anonymous.
Bridget decided to start a group for atheists like that woman. She named it Atheists Anonymous in her honor.
That couldn't be free in the United States of America to say that they were atheists. I thought that was just terrible.
There were 16 members at the first meeting 2 years ago. Meetings showcase speakers who talk about atheism and religions like Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism. Some recent meetings have attracted more than 90 people. But despite the increasing popularity, Bridget says some residents of La Costa Glen don't appreciate her efforts.
So I've been called Antichrist. I have been called a Jew lover. And one day I was just standing in our mailroom right down here in Hillside where you came in. And they were looking, two ladies, I didn't know them, they didn't know me. They were looking at a poster. And it said, Bridget Clark-Smith, questions 3032. Call me. You see this woman's name? You see this woman? She's a sinner, she's going to hell, and she's going to burn forever.
Roy Whitaker is a religion professor at San Diego State University who studies atheism. He says it's not surprising that La Costa's Atheist Anonymous members have faced hostility.
There has been various surveys done that atheists are considered basically the most hated minority in North America.
Whitaker says the word atheist can be heard as confrontational to religious people.
If an individual today has a type of atheistic A on their chest, then there will and possibly may have some negative repercussions.
That might be changing. A Pew study released last month shows the number of Americans who say they don't have any religious affiliation has more than doubled since 1972. Whitaker says atheism is least common among the 65 and older age group, which makes women like Bridget especially unusual. It also might explain some of the resistance her group has encountered among the residents of La Costa Glen. Eliane Pepper, another resident of La Costa Glen, was raised as an atheist. She says she sees far less acceptance of atheists among her generation.
I think that with the younger group, 20s, 30s, it is highly acceptable. Nobody really cares if you're Catholic, an atheist, a Jew, whatever. Okay, it's never talked about. That is not in their conversation jargon. I think it's us, the older generation, that continue to label it.
Bridget says she appreciates La Costa Glen for allowing her group to meet, but she has some complaints. She wants her meetings to be listed on the center's events calendar and says she was asked to only put event flyers in the mailboxes for current members of the group.
Then there were too many complaints, and I understand them. I understand complaints. I mean, I get complaints.
La Costa Glen is not affiliated with any religion and says on its website it is welcoming of all religions. Michelle Chafee, the activities director at La Costa Glen, responded to our interview request with an email. We try to keep clear of sponsored political or religious clubs, since we are not a faith-based community, she wrote. The term Atheists Anonymous was really sort of a joke. It would be better called Exploring Religions. Some of Bridget's friends agree a name without the word atheist would be less controversial. But Bridget says the name of her group is part of the point. She thinks the word atheist is like poison to some people and frightens them.
I just don't want it to be poisonous. I just don't think it's right that it's poisonous.
Franz Burkholder, another La Costa resident and Atheists Anonymous member, says he feels people in the retirement center accept every religion, but not the absence of faith.
The issue is that we are priding ourselves on being tolerant to other beliefs and religions, and that's being socially correct, but it's still, we accept that we do not tolerate the beliefs of atheism.
For that reason, most of the Atheists Anonymous members agree they should not change the name. They plan to continue holding meetings and fighting for acceptance from their peers. Claire Tregeser, KPBS News.
I'm Judy Woodruff. On the next News Hour, the latest in our Coping with Climate Change series. The impact that more carbon dioxide in the oceans is having on coral reefs in Florida. That's Wednesday on the PBS News Hour.
Like many San Diegans, shopping in Tijuana was a holiday tradition for my family. That was long before the drug cartel war and the resulting drop in American tourism. But Mexican officials say that's changing again, and slowly tourists are returning to Baja. Here to talk about what's being done to bring tourists back to Mexico is my guest, Baja Secretary of Tourism, Juan Tintos. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Secretary Tintos, now you've said that tourism in 2012 has been the best it's been in 5 years.
Yes.
First of all, how are you able to find that out?
Well, we have certain indicators related a lot to American tourists. For example, we're the second most visited cruise ship destination in Mexico, second only to Cozumel. We've had about a 30% increase in participants in our off-road races, bike rides, different tourist events. We've had famous American chefs like Anthony Bourdain and Rick Bayless come and film their programs in Baja. We reactivated the film industry. We recently had Robert Redford filming in Rosarito Beach for 3 months. So those are some of the type of indicators that let us know that American tourists are coming back as of this year.
Well, the drug cartel war and ensuing violence, and of course the most recent gruesome headlines of those more than 100 bodies discovered that were dissolved in lye, has kept tourists away for some time. What's being done to protect tourists now and assure them that they're safe?
Well, we went through some tough times through 2008, 2009. Actually, this incident, which is an ongoing investigation, is back from those years. But we have not had any tourist-related incidents. We offer a 078 tourist assistance line that you can call for anything for information or orientation. Bilingual city police in all of our destinations. Our offices are open 7 days a week. We have a tourist assistance office, bilingual personnel, and also the Green Angels free mechanical service on the roads that go through Baja's highways. Those are just some of the examples, but basically we work very, very closely also with the U.S. Consulate in Tijuana for any type of tourist that may need any assistance. Fortunately, the numbers have been going down.
And it's become available. You've also been very proactive in making some places in Baja very attractive destination points. Give us some highlights of, I'm thinking the winery tours. What else is it?
Well, our route wine, Ruta del Vino, was declared Mexico's #1 tourism route. We produce 90% of Mexico's wines. That's been a big reason, along with the Baja Met cuisine, why we've had famous chefs coming down and film and go through there. We've become a very important destination for medical tourism, both in Tijuana and Mexicali also. The world's #1 spa is in Tecate. And Tecate was just this past Friday declared a magical town, which is a federal program in Mexico. There are only 83 cities, over 2,000 of them in Mexico. This was a declaration also. And the cuisine, the contrast of scenery between the Pacific Ocean, and then we have San Felipe and the Sea of Cortez, with warm waters.
The surfing, we just saw some video of the surfing. It's a surfing destination point as well.
There's a lot of surfers and sports fishermen that come down there.
And what about the conventions? I know Innovadora convention in Tijuana recently. Yeah. That was huge, a big success. Yes. Is that something that your office has specifically worked on to try to get conventions?
We support these types of major international events because we get international figures. We've had in 2010 Larry King, former Vice President Al Gore, the world president of different companies that come down to Tijuana for this 2-week event. We had the Baja Culinary Festival where we had famous chefs come there for the 6-day event. And we've taken a lot of this as a strategy. We're letting the famous people come down and talk good about Baja. People like Sylvester Stallone, who was at the studios, Robert Redford, the chefs, different international figures.
Being figureheads, doing a little work for you. Yeah. A lot of cruise lines discontinued their stops in Baja ports because of that violence. But are they returning now?
Well, they never left Ensenada.
Okay.
Ensenada is the only port of what they call the Mexican Riviera that they've continued. We've gone from 6th to 2nd place. We're second only to Cozumel right now. We should be nearing 500,000 passengers this year, mostly Americans, mostly from the Southern California area. They love the wine country, the shopping, the Baja Med cuisine, the blowhole, La Bufadora, all the surroundings there. And there's a new wine museum that was inaugurated this summer in the Guadalupe Valley. So yes, we have a reactivation and increase in cruise ship tourism.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time, but people can hear more about this on our website. We've got some nice links there. So Baja Secretary of Tourism, Juan Tintos, thanks so much for
Thank you very much.
Still some clouds in our forecast. Temperatures in the 60s along the coast for the next few days. A little warmer inland with more sunshine by Saturday. If you can't wait till then, head east to the mountains and out to the deserts where temperatures will be around 80 degrees. We leave you tonight with an amazing view of our region at night. This comes from a new NASA satellite equipped with a sensor to get nighttime views of the Earth. Not only can you see the city lights from LA, San Diego, and Mexico, you can also see some reflected moonlight. Here's a look at the whole U.S. at night. You can also get images of the whole globe. NASA has posted them online at nasa.gov. Tonight's stories are online at kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. You have a great night.